All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So we have some big news happening in the crypto space right now. And right now we're on CoinMarketCap. The entire market cap of this industry is $1.29 trillion, incredibly undervalued in the macro. But in the micro, what is about to happen next for XRP, with XRP sitting at 61 cents with a $32.9 billion market cap? Where is XRP going to go next? So in this video, we're covering the XRP to the US dollar price chart. We're also talking about what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried. Is Ripple pivoting to CBDCs with the latest partnership that's taking place right now? Bitcoin predictions. We're talking about the Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart, comparing where we are in the monthly compared to the daily, going all the way back to 2015 market cycle, the 2018 to 2020 bear market, and then where we are today. And then also what's happening over in Dubai with Ripple. This is massive, guys. Some big news is taking place. And is Ripple going to abandon XRP in the quest to pioneer CBDCs for central banks? What does that mean for XRP if some of Ripple's products don't require XRP to be used? Will they use it, or are they just going to come up with their own tokens for this? So I know you have a lot of questions. We're going to address all that in today's video. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish. And as always, if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, you know what to do. Grab your putter, take the like button, and just tap it in. Just sink the putt. Give it a tibbity taparoo. We're doing it for grandma. We're going to beat the SEC, and we're buying her house back with XRP. Let's run it. All right, bull runners. So looking at the markets right now, we've seen projects like Solana go on an absolute ripper Magooski, 23%. Cardano's up 12%. Dogecoin kind of hovering just below 7 cents right now. The markets have been doing very, very well due to the anticipation of the spot Bitcoin ETF. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because we're waiting for the approval of the SEC leading into January. And so I'll explain what I feel is going to happen for Bitcoin leading into the altcoins and when the bull run will really start by the end of this video. But first, let's talk about XRP, and then we'll get into Bitcoin to compare these cycles. Because right here on the monthly for XRP, what we're looking at is this symmetrical triangle right here, and we're waiting for a break to the upside to retest the resistance of roughly 90 plus cents. This was resistance all the way back here when XRP was in the downtrend during the bear market from early February right here, like February 9th, and you can see 28th of March right here. And then also post lawsuit, wicked right off of this resistance here. So I would expect XRP's, next major resistance to be at about 90 cents. And I said this in a previous video where this Berlin wall at about 55 cents right here, we needed to clear and hold above it. And we're doing that right now. So this is massively bullish news leading into ETF approvals for XRP, and I'm expecting XRP to make a big move soon. Now, if XRP, trades down to 55 cents, holds it as support over the next week or two leading up to these announcements, that's completely fine. There's no reason to panic there. It just needs to hold 55 cents as a support. And then we need to see a massive spring for XRP with Bitcoin pushing above 40K and 45K. That's what we need to see. And then we would see XRP, push to the upper echelon of this descending resistance on the symmetrical triangle to eventually retest $1 and $1.30. And then just kind of hover at the upper echelon of this resistance for an extended period of time leading into 2024. And then once we break this descending resistance, then XRP will go. So the descending resistance at about $1.30 is the place to watch. And looking on the RSI right here, we can see on the monthly XRP is at 52, whereas on the daily XRP is at 76. So because we are in overbought territory on the daily, but we're in the not oversold, we're right at 52. We're in the middle ground territory for XRP. Comparing this to the past right here, where we see the RSI-based moving average in yellow, all the way back here after COVID took place, we saw XRP break out, and it broke above the RSI-based moving average, this purple line that you can see on the RSI, to about 50, came back down to retest it, where XRP dropped back down to 16 cents, and then surged out of here to get back to 50 cents and eventually, $1.90. So where we are, comparison to the past two as well of 2016, we broke above. We saw XRP see one final sell-off down to 0.003 cents, and then we sprung out of there. So we could be in comparison to, around this phase right here, or right around this phase right here before a massive breakout takes place, because we're currently above the RSI based moving average on the monthly as well. So that's a key thing to look for. But in the micro, on the daily, or if we go all the way down to the hour, the minutes, we're going to be higher on the RSI because of the recent bullish momentum that's taken place all through October in anticipation of the ETFs. Now, why did the market see a little bit of a dip? It was because of Sam Bankman-Fried. He was found guilty in federal fraud and conspiracy trial, could face 110 years in prison. So, right, defrauding investors, customers, lenders in connection with the collapse of FTX. A New York jury agreed with prosecutors, and he now faces, a life sentence basically. So his defense plans to appeal the verdict, maintaining his innocence. The trial involves charges of wire fraud, conspiracy. His net worth was around $26 billion during the rise of FTX, but his empire crumbled, leading to bankruptcy in November of 2022. And he faces additional charges related to campaign finance violations and alleged bribery in a second trial scheduled for March of 2024, because he was donating to Democrats and Republicans behind the scenes to win over these politicians. And that's how he could keep staying in business without being, really thoroughly investigated by the SEC. Gary Gensler met with him twice and, just let him keep doing things, whereas they attacked Ripple for doing everything right. So completely corrupt at the top. And was Sam a plant to regulate crypto because of this picture right here? Or was it just a coincidence between Sam, Glenn Ellison, Caroline Ellison, and Gary Gensler? Because Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, he was an MIT graduate. Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, was a former professor at MIT. Glenn Ellison, he's a professor of economics at MIT. He was the former boss of Gary Gensler. And then Caroline Edison, CEO of Alameda Research, partnered with, in relationship with Sam, was the daughter of Glenn Ellison. Interesting circle jerk of a connection right there. So you guys let me know. I'm not going to confirm or deny the connection there, but interestingly how he got away for an extended period of time. And now what's happening is this is hitting the news. It's hitting the media. Let's scare all these retail investors and, regulate the industry for CBDCs to come at the exact time with regulation, control the industry so the elite can scoop up the majority of your bags, right? So are you getting scared out? Are you selling? Are you letting, your friends or your family members that are sharing these news articles with you scare you? Or are you subscribing to the channel, liking this video, because we're giving you the real news, the juicy details on what's taking place? Because Ripple is pivoting to CBDCs. They announced a partnership with the National Bank of Georgia on the digital Lari Gel pilot project. The pilot will leverage Ripple's award-winning CBDC platform to evaluate practical use cases and benefits for the public sector and businesses. And XRP in the cryptocurrency space is at the center of it all, with questions of, will they abandon XRP? So let's get into that at the end of this video. But Georgia's central bank joins in Bhutan, Colombia, Peru, Montenegro, Hong Kong, which are each in various stages of piloting Ripple's CBDC technology. Meanwhile, Ripple's managing director for Europe just recently said that the company was in talks with more than a dozen governments around the world that expressed interest in the platform. So we're going to be having back-to-back news dropping on this channel, guys. Just get ready. It's been happening. We've been predicting it. We forecasted this all the way back in 2020, all the way back here in October, September, October, November of 2020, when Ripple was at 22 cents. We forecasted this, and now we're just getting started. And sure, XRP hasn't performed to the moon that everyone's expecting yet. And there are other projects that could outperform XRP over the next few months leading up to Bitcoin's halving, just because they're not ready to flip the switch yet. But mark my words, by 2025, guys, leading up to 2030, XRP will be that showstopper. Now, I could be wrong. Don't buy it. Don't sell it. Obviously, it could all go to zero. Bitcoin could go to zero. Everything could go to zero. And by watching this video, you're okay with getting wrecked. You're a full-grown adult here. You can make your own educated decisions. So don't buy anything we talk about. I'm here to bring you the news. Just as card payment companies today are inconceivable without Visa and MasterCard, and U.S. securities markets are now dependent on the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, the CBDC payments market could one day come to rely on Ripple the same way. And of course, while some people may find this prospect disconcerting, it is worth remembering that private enterprises have always formed the cogs and wheels of the global economy, not just vessels for profit that move capital from A to B, but key structural components that define what money is and how it functions. Because money, right, changes over time. And so that's what we're witnessing right now is a shift of what money is from traditional fiat currency and paper money, right? We had the barter system. I give you meat, you give me grains, right? I give you gun, you give me cow. It's like now it's like I give you cash, you give me gold or eggs or whatever, and cash is dying, right? So it is designed to die because you can't have an unlimited amount that you print and then just donate it to these other countries and not back it by anything real. Because when you see news come out about the Treasury borrowing billions of dollars, who are they borrowing that from? Themselves. The money printer. They just borrow it from themselves and then they run up bad debt. And so a wave of bad debt is going to come flooding back to U.S. shores. And what will that do to people's retirement? If you're only holding cash, you are going to be destroyed. So in a statement, Ripple said the partnership with the National Bank of Georgia would include implementing and deploying the Digital Lari pilot initiative through the Ripple CBDC platform. So this is going to be big, guys. This is more use cases, and they're going to disclose their intentions to advance the CBDC project by introducing a limited access live pilot environment. And the predictions for what's going to take place here is 2026, hyperinflation, destroying the US dollar. It's already been happening for decades. 2026, all debt gets worthless. 2027, we get a fresh start with the CBDC, the Great Reset. So this is intentional. They're intentionally doing this because all of the central banks, the top central banks in the world, are buying gold. So the reason why they want more gold as a central bank and the reason why they would want to intentionally destroy their fiat currency is because if the United States destroys their fiat currency and they're buying, the United States owns more gold than every central bank. So if they destroy their fiat currency, they know that it's going to destroy other fiat currencies. So they have more power because they own God's money of gold. So going back to gold standard, backing it to gold, and then pricing gold above where it is right now. So gold is going to go absolutely insane. You need to be ready for that. And Bitcoin, whether you love Bitcoin or hate it, obviously XRP, and the XRP ledger is a superior technology. It's faster, more cost effective, safer, secure. You don't have the Bitcoin mining, the mining debates about how good it is for the environment because XRP doesn't have the Bitcoin mines, doesn't do the same thing. Right? So XRP superior in every single way, but Bitcoin is what the elite are focusing on right now. And then XRP is going to be what they're going to shift to, for cross-border payments. So looking right here, what we need to look at in comparison to Bitcoin to understand when XRP will go on a bull run will be based on when Bitcoin goes on a bull run, because we're in the bull run right now. People are saying like, when will the bull run start? Guys, the bull run started in November of 2022. We're in a bull run. We've been in a bull run. Sure, there's periods of, there's corrections during a bull run. And just like there's corrections, there's retracements during a bear market, right here from January 21st, 2022 to March, January, February, March. So for 3 months, we had a mini bull run during a bear market. But on the macro, what I'm talking about is we're in a bull run right now. So where we look on the monthly here in comparison on the left-hand side, we go all the way back to 2015, okay? So I'm looking at the price chart at the top of the screen on the left and then the RSI and the bottom of the screen on the left. So when you look at this with me in these vertical white dashed lines right here, we're the top of the bull run. So all the way back, November of 2013, we're at the top of the bull run. On the RSI, we were upwards of 93 on the RSI, the relative strength index, drastically overbought territory, meaning it's a terrible time to buy on the monthly because the more that you zoom out, the stronger the indicators get. So if I'm on the 1 minute on the indicator of the RSI, it's not as strong as if I'm on the 1 month. If I'm on the 1 month, this is basically confirming what's happening on the daily and on the hour if they line up. And so what we're looking at here is when we saw the bear market from November of 2013 all the way down to January of 2015, that was about 426 days right there. Then we started the bull run, and then the bull run lasted from January to December. It was 1,065 days, so for about 3 years. So roughly 1 year is top to bottom. 3 years, give or take a few months, is bottom to top. Now, when we looked at the bottom, well, where were we on the RSI to confirm this? We were at 44. So we weren't below 30, but we were at 44. Then we rebounded out of here. Now, a key zone to look at on the RSI is right here, where we're at right now, 56, because when we were at this phase where Bitcoin consolidated between $300 to $500 on the left-hand side of the screen, it took about 300 days to break out of this range right here. And where we were on the RSI, we were below 50. So for about 300 days, we were below 50 on the RSI, and we were in this zone where we were testing the resistance of roughly $320, $300 to $320. Then we broke out of here and we formed a new range, right? We broke out to a new high. We back test the resistance of the previous range as support. We consolidate sideways within $500 to $300 within a $200 price range. And then we break out again and we form another range. We back test and then we consolidate sideways for an extended period of time. So from this breakout to where when we broke the high, it was another 205 days, give or take a few days here and there. And so on the RSI, what happened here is we broke out from 50 and we consolidated below 56 for about 211 days. Then we went on the massive bull run. So the accumulation phase leading into accumulation at the bottom, phase one, about 211 days. Then we go into phase two and then phase three of the bull run, depending on how you calculate it for yourself. And also in the RSI, you guys can see a period where we would break out from this 300-day consolidation period. And when we broke out, the RSI pushed above 70 in the micro on the daily, whereas on the macro, on the monthly, we were still below 50, right? So because we were in overbought territory on the daily, but we were right in the middle on the monthly, and we weren't in overbought territory, it means that there's a correction coming in the short term, but in the long term, we're still maintaining the uptrend, okay? So looking right here, we pushed upwards of 87 on the RSI, which means Bitcoin rallied to $500 really fast, over the course of a few days. I mean, we look at what happened here when we broke out. It took less than a week for Bitcoin to go from $300 to $500, because Bitcoin moves quick. When it rallies and it breaks out of a range, it moves fast. That's what we've been seeing happen recently. Bitcoin moved from like $29,000 to $35,000 in the blink of an eye. It happened while you were sleeping. You woke up and you're like, whoa, your portfolio's moving really quick. That's why you can't time. You don't know when these rallies take place, because during this consolidation phase, it was 300 days, whereas this was 274 days. So within a month, right? Within a month. Now we were in this next range for 223 days, whereas in this range we were at 211 days. So, what is that, 20 days, a little bit less than a month? So to try and time this to the day is impossible. But what we can look at is macro, how your portfolio is going to look in the long term. So for 211 days, we consolidated sideways. The RSI did whatever it needed to do during that time. We don't need to get too technical there. And then we broke out. We broke out again. We formed a new range upwards of $780 for high. Again, the RSI pushed upwards of 70, overbought territory. We had to come down. Now, where were we on the chart during that phase? Well, you can see right here, we broke from 56 on the RSI, upwards of 67, came back down and stayed just right below 70 for 211 days before breaking above 70 on the RSI, and then continuing all the way up to the high of December 2017. Now, where were we on the RSI? We were at 95, drastically overbought territory on the macro. So now, not only on the micro, right? If we go to 2017 all the way up here for the high, where were we on the RSI? We were at 92 on the RSI right here on the daily. On the monthly, we were at 94. So because both of those are lining up to be above 90 on the daily and on the monthly, and we had been in an uptrend for 3 years, that signaled that the top was in, the top of the market. And we're not going any higher than that. The only place you can go when you're upwards of 90 to 100, the RSI goes up to like 100, a little bit above 100, right? So 100 is the max. If you're at 93, it does not make sense to be buying or longing the market. You would want to be shorting the market. And if you know how to do it on leverage, getting that financial advice, you can make a killing just like Michael Berry did during the big short, except in crypto. it's the giant short. It's even bigger than big because of the volatility, right? When the stock market dropped, it only dropped 50%, where when Bitcoin dropped from the high to the bottom, it was 80+%. And so there is more volatility, which leads to more risk, but also that leads to more reward if you know how to play it right. So now looking at the next bear market from top to bottom, right here, from top to bottom is about almost 365 days. Then we broke out for that 2019 rally. Very similarly on the RSI, we were within this range for 178 days, a little bit shorter, right? A little bit shorter of a time. It was about 300 days previously in the accumulation phase right here at the bottom. When we dropped off a shelf, Bitcoin formed a low of 3,000 something bucks, and then we broke out of $6,000 to go into this longer accumulation during 2019 to 2020, 544 days. So that was tough. This was brutal. Those of you guys who remember this was frustrating, man, because we went all the way up here. We saw this triangle pattern take place, the symmetrical triangle right here. Bitcoin was making lower highs and higher lows. And what everyone was expecting during this period of time is Bitcoin to continue, break to the upside, hold it as support, and then see a bounce even higher than that. Where when we saw a break to the downside, it took Bitcoin forever to regain that momentum. And then the black swan event right here of COVID, leading with the worry of the globe shutting down, something like the world has never seen before. That's why it took 554 days to really break out of that, because the pandemic was not created in 2020. It was before that. That was just the lagging effect leading into the market to cause the shutdown in the economy. Whereas it happened like back in frickin' 2008, right? 2008 leading to 2018 of excessive monetary print orders, low interest rates, and then that leading to massive inflation. But looking back here on the chart, we can see that we broke upwards during this rally of 57. We go all the way up to 66, and then we just consolidated for 554 days around this range right here. So where are we right now? That's the key, because okay, sure, the accumulation phase on this market cycle was 178 days compared to 300 days, whereas the phase one of the bull run was like 550. You could argue that it was 554 days, and then it was 200 days prior of breaking out of the cycle. So right now we have about 274 days from dropping off of a shelf to breaking out, forming this range, and we were in this for 223 days. Now we're breaking out right now, and so where are we going to go next? Well, on the daily, we are sitting at 75 on the RSI. We just reached upwards of 87, and so it's going to take time for Bitcoin to break its all-time high. Nonetheless, leading up until the ETFs, I expect Bitcoin to rally higher leading up to the ETFs, maybe 40K. If we can push higher than 40K, now we're getting into the risky territory of a massive correction between 40 and 50K. So between $40,000 to $50,000, I think Bitcoin will peak out. We're going to see the RSI on the monthly do what similar happened with like 2019. And then we consolidate sideways for an extended period of time leading up to Bitcoin's halving. In my previous video, if you guys subscribe to the channel, based on the past several Bitcoin halving events, Bitcoin didn't rally until 6 months after the halving. We even had a period where it was an entire year. It was like 13 months where Bitcoin had to cool off for a little bit. So leading up and going into Ripple's IPO as well too, what I feel is going to happen, and I've been right a lot of times. I'm not right all the time. Obviously, you can't be right all the time, but I've been right a lot of the times, calling the 2021 bull run, calling the top of the market, warning everyone around the top of the market. And then also, I bought Bitcoin at $16,700. I sold my Bitcoin at $57,000. I bought it back in at $16,500, a little bit above the bottom because I was waiting for that bounce, right? A lot of people thought it was going to go lower for Bitcoin, whereas right here, when Bitcoin was bouncing right out of here, then we saw the rally take place. So, I bought like right around here. It was December of 2022. And then Bitcoin rallied upwards of 24,000, and I was just holding since then. I did take some profits on my Bitcoin, and I'm going to be talking about which altcoins I'm bullish on that I'm diversifying into, because altcoins rally next, right? Ethereum goes. Once Bitcoin goes, then Ethereum goes, then the altcoins go. And the top large caps move first, That's why we're seeing Avalanche move 14%. We saw Chainlink rally up to $11 from $7. We saw Solana. What did Solana pull? Like a 50% or something like that. It pulled, I think, 100% or something, almost 100%. So these top altcoins are moving. Then what we're going to see is the lower caps below, the medium caps between $100 million up to $1 billion move next. And then we see the small caps between, like $10 million to $100 million. Then we see the micro caps go after that when Bitcoin, is really in like phase 2 of the bull run and starts going crazy. So how long will we be in this next phase? Well, we need to see Bitcoin peak out somewhere upwards of 40 to 50K. And then what'll happen here, if Bitcoin can rally up to 40K or 50K, we don't know how high it'll go. Then the ETFs get approved. At the peak of the market, Ripple announces an IPO. These are my predictions, okay? It doesn't mean they're going to happen. It's just me speaking out loud here. If you guys agree, give this video a like. If you disagree, drop a comment below, okay? When the markets peak out for this next phase right here above the resistance we are in this range for 223 days, then we see Ripple IPO. They announce it. Brad Garlinghouse is a smart marketer, right? There's a reason why XRP has stayed in the top 10, even with the lawsuit on their back, because of marketing, because of the partnerships, because of behind the scenes what they're doing and that narrative and all the VCs and stuff that believe in the project long term. But when we talk about marketing, where would be the best time to announce an IPO? Would it be while the markets are crashing down and everyone's in fear of Sam Bankman-Fried or, a correction taking place if we go back down to 30K? Would this be the best time to announce an IPO? No, absolutely not, because Google Trends would suggest otherwise. Google Trends would suggest that it's a bad time because people are scared. People are in fear. People don't buy, the masses don't buy stocks or IPOs or crypto when they're in fear. When do they buy into stuff? When people are in greed. When would people be in greed? ETF approval time. Ripple announces IPO at the peak. Then all of a sudden, markets come crashing back down, consolidate sideways for an extended period of time. How long? Well, 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, 500 days. No one has any freaking clue. So for me to tell you how long we would consolidate sideways for, we can give you an idea based on the past. I mean, right here, how long did we consolidate when we broke above 50 on the RSI before doing that again? Yeah, 500 plus days. The time before then on the monthly, how long were we consolidating sideways before we broke above, this range right here? 200 days. Before we even saw Bitcoin break its high, it was 500 days. So, 500 days from this breakout period right here before Bitcoin broke its high, 517 days. 517 days. And so from this rally right here, how long did it take for Bitcoin to break its high? 580 days. And so where would that put us from this rally for Bitcoin to break its high? Let me measure it out for you guys. And so right here, from this point of breaking 50 on the RSI, if we do 517 days, that puts us in March of 2025. So March of 2025, when is Bitcoin halving? April, May, June, July, August, September, October of 2024, we could see that to March of 2025 before Bitcoin breaks its all-time high. So we have, I believe, one final push up for Bitcoin, consolidation for an extended period of time, 500 plus days, over a year, for you to accumulate as much as humanly possible, because after those 500 days are up, in 6 months after Bitcoin's halving, we go camping on the beaches of the moon. So DIFC champions over in Dubai, as a global crypto hub with approval of XRP under its virtual assets regime. What does this mean? Well, Dubai, right, is the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions for, Ripple compared to the United States and the SEC. Today, they announced that the Dubai Financial Services Authority has approved the digital asset XRP for use within the Dubai International Financial Center. So this happened yesterday. You may have heard this before, but check this out, because licensed virtual asset firms within the DIFC will now be able to incorporate XRP into the virtual asset services. And so since the DFSA opened up external applications, XRP is the first virtual asset to be approved by the regime. And XRP joins Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin as the assets previously approved under the DFSA's virtual asset regime. And XRP now stands to benefit from legal and regulatory clarity in the DIFC and will be available for use by institutions located in the DIFC to accelerate faster, more efficient global value exchange. So which one are they going to use out of those? The fastest one, obviously. and that would be XRP. So Brad Garlinghouse said, Dubai continues to demonstrate global leadership when it comes to the regulation of virtual assets and nurturing innovation. It's refreshing to see the DFSA encourage the adoption and use of digital assets such as XRP to position Dubai as a leading financial services hub, intent on attracting foreign investment and accelerating economic growth. Ripple will continue to double down on its presence in Dubai, and we look forward to continuing to work closely with regulators to realize crypto's full potential. So the way that Brad Garlinghouse speaks is he says everything and nothing at the exact same time. Like that said everything, but it said nothing that we didn't already know. Like they're going to continue to work with them. They're going to continue to pioneer things. So Brad is very, very good. That's a good thing because he's very, very good at speaking how politicians speak, where they say like, it's going to be very amazing. We're very excited to do this or that, but they're not giving you any critical details. I don't like how politicians speak, but I understand and I respect the way that they do it. You know, like for example, Barack Obama. I don't like the guy. He had a lot of bad policies, but he was one of the most articulate and professional speakers, which is why people listen to him. So Brad Garlinghouse, world of different comparing to Obama, right? But Brad's a very smart guy, and he's doing well leading the ship of Ripple. Compared to something like, I mean, you look at Ethereum, you know, people are trusting their life savings with a dude who's showing up with freaking pajamas on stage. I mean, come on, man. You know, come on, get your act together in all areas. So this announcement comes with Ripple's Swell, their flagship event, bringing together influential financial industry and regulatory voices. It's set to be hosted Dubai, November 8th through the 9th. And so they're going to be talking about a lot going on over there. And so we'll keep you guys posted on the channel for that. But Ripple's not going to abandon XRP. So what John Deaton, as he said for more than 3 years, you know, if you do the math here, Ripple has a fiduciary duty not to abandon XRP because in 2015, they did a Series A valuation and it was $128 million. 2016, a Series B valuation of $410 million. 2020, a Series C valuation of $10 billion. In 2022, a Series C buyback valuation of $15 billion. And so with Ripple's ownership of a substantial amount of XRP, it would be impractical for the company to abandon the currency because if XRP were to reach just $2 per token, Ripple's holdings would be valued at approximately $100 billion, underscoring the long-term commitment Ripple has to XRP. So he wrote on Twitter that Ripple's pre-IPO shares clearly trade at a valuation significantly less than $15 billion. And so why would they want to abandon it if it would grow to over $100 billion? Plus, investor sentiment, right? If they abandon XRP, what is Ripple without XRP? The reason why Ripple has been crushing it is because of XRP, the amount that they have in their escrow. Even though they've been selling off some from their escrow, that's what's been fueling Ripple as a company. So for them to abandon XRP, it's kind of like the New England abandoning the Patriots or, you know, LA abandoning the Lakers. Like you just don't do that. You know, that's where the community loves the company. That's where the money comes from. So it just makes absolutely no sense. And so the next step for Ripple is basically deciding the penalty amount. That's what's in focus right now because there's been a big talk about how much the SEC wants Ripple to pay. And the SEC is wanting $770 million in a penalty for institutional sales if investors haven't been adversely impacted. Now, clearly, you guys have lost money if you bought XRP at like 80 cents, $1, $1.90, you know, all the way back here on the chart. If we go to when this lawsuit hit, it was in December. XRP was at 70 plus cents, almost 80 cents, and it dropped all the way down to 16 cents. So we're still below that 70 cent price range right there. But XRP holders clearly were hurt because, you know, a lot of them saw that lawsuit hit and they didn't want to wait, you know, 3 years. No one wants to wait 3 years for them to figure something out, and they're still figuring it out right now. And so $770 million the SEC is asking, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be way less than that. It just takes time for them to figure that out because John Deaton, he's saying Ripple could lower this big amount, mentioning that a past case, the SEC asked for $23 million, but only got $130,000 from another company. And so this will be resolved, and it'll just be right at the perfect timing. It's going to be matrix level timing, guys, for when ISO 20022 goes live. And you just got to be patient and focused on stacking up cash flow on the front end, okay? Don't just be sitting there worrying and checking the charts all the time. as a long-term holder, you don't need to be looking at your portfolio all the time. Obviously, educate yourself on the news and what's taking place, and we'll give you guys breaking news on a consistent basis when you subscribe to the channel. But the main key here is to know how to diversify, to know how to stack up passive income. So if you want to discover the best ways to make money online without any previous trading experience, go to bullrunners.com right now. Get on the early bird list for when we launch our financial education platform, because we're going to give you guys a list of our top 100 projects that we're the most bullish on. Doesn't mean you should buy them. It just means why we're bullish on them, why we personally hold them, and that's up to you to do your own research. When we give you that document, you're going to get it first, and you're going to get access to our financial education platform first, so you can be able to have money flowing in, so you can accumulate during the consolidation periods, right? Because Bitcoin pushes upwards of 40 or 50K, and then if it drops back down to 35K or all the way down to 30K, and if we consolidate sideways for 500 days, what are you doing for 500 days? 500 days to change your life, right? It might even be quicker than that. We might even just keep blasting past the all-time high with these ETFs, you know? But it could take 500 days of consolidation before the wheels of the slow financial system start to speed up, and they're ready for CBDCs. They're ready for the swift integration with ISO, and they're ready for all the ISO compliant projects like XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, and other projects, and Algorand and other ones too, before they really start implementing those. And so you want to know which projects, if you want to know which projects are going to be part of the new financial system, to be ready, and you want to have as much money as humanly possible to accumulate to those, then go to bullrunners.com. Let's back up the truck to the bank. We grab the bags, and what we do is we pack them, we stack them, we leave no bags left behind, because the spending power of the dollar continues to go down in value. That's a fact based on inflation. Blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, it's going up in interest. That's the truth. And together, we're all going camping, you know where, on the beaches of the moon. I'll see you on the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com. As always, stay bullish.